reported from that particular areas, and the terrorists continue to use the difficult terrain as a hideout. The security forces have faced numerous challenges while undertaking this task of the encounter operation, which is presently underway. We'll try and get more ground reports. We'll try and connect with my colleagues and get more details on the story. But during a search operation, this was a reinforcement that was being sent to the defense forces. And while that was going on, 3 terrorists are believed to be in the hiding of the forest in the Poonch region. The operation right now is still underway to nab the terrorists. At least 5 locals from Dera Ki Gali area and Poonch district have been detained for question. Meanwhile, you also have a search operation which is going on in different parts of this particular area. My colleague Tejinder Singh Sodhi joining us on the broadcast, getting us more details on the story. Tejinder, please tell us more. What exactly is the situation right now?
See, Anusha, the operation is still going on, though for quite some time there has been no exchange of fire. So it seems that the terrorists somehow have managed to escape from the spot, or they are hiding somewhere in a place where they are not able to establish contact with the security forces. But additional forces, as we have been reporting, that additional forces have been rushed to the spot. Drones are being used, helicopters are being used, even the sniffer dogs of the army, they have also been deployed to find out where these terrorists are hiding. The sources within the army are saying us that they believe that this is a group of 3 to 4 terrorists. These are they believe that this could be 2 splinter groups of 2 each who carried out this terror attack. This attack yesterday, in which 4 army jawans have been martyred, they have been killed in action, and 3 others are battling for their life. Other security agencies including NIA, SIA, Jammu and Kashmir Police, they are trying to find out the local connection of the terrorists, because without local support carrying out such a terror attack was not possible. So security forces do believe that these terrorists got local support, whether it was in the form of logistics or carrying out recce in this area. So more than 5 people, what we are told that around now 15 people have been rounded up by the security agencies. They are being questioned. The dump data in the area is being looked into, and all the angles are being looked into by various security agencies. Earlier this morning, we reported that an NIA team has already reached the spot of the encounter of this operation to help assist the army and other security agencies to find out the links of this terror attack. Yes, Anusha.
Thank you so much, Tejinder, for putting all of that into perspective. Let's also try and cut across to some exclusive bit of news that we are getting at this point in time. Intel sources revealed to CNN News 18 that Lashkar has now opened a new front. Intel sources further tell us that huge number of Pakistani-trained foreign terrorists, of course, are in Poonch Rajouri region. A few days back, Lashkar movement in the area was reported by the intelligence agencies. Let's take you through some more details which are emerging one by one. The inputs which we are picking up from our top sources. What is it that the top intelligence sources really revealed to CNN News 18 about what exactly is going to happen? Let me tell you about the Lashkar and how exactly it has opened up a new front, and what is it that the intelligence agencies are indicating to us. Surankot, Poonch and Rajouri. These are typically the areas which are being targeted by Lashkar at this point in time. Cadre from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and South Punjab in Pakistan. That's the cadre which is being deployed in this particular area. Lashkar has also sent battle-hardened terrorists in Kashmir, and battle-hardened terrorists are trained in Afghanistan right now. Cadre is involved in Taliban takeover, which is being sent to Kashmir. Now, why is it that Rajouri and Poonch have been in spotlight of the terrorists? Why is it that these 2 particular areas have witnessed a spate of encounters, a spate of anti-terror operations which the defense forces had to carry out? Well, number one, as I argued earlier, the terrain is very, very difficult. It is also a hilly region, so the hideouts are an advantage for the terrorists. Dense forest acts as a natural hideout for most of these terrorists, and their dependency on the overground workers is significantly reduced. Jungles are interconnected, and it also aids their entire escape process. So that's largely the reasons that we are really looking at. How and why has Lashkar really opened this new front, and what exactly is the plan of action? What from the side of the Indian security forces? Anand will tell us more about the story. Anand, why is it that Lashkar has targeted the Poonch and Rajouri area? In the last 1 year, we have seen a lot of encounter operations happening in this particular area.
See, there is a huge terrain difference between Kashmir, Jammu and also this entire Poonch Rajouri area. Poonch Rajouri area is forested area, but it does not receive heavy amount of snowfall. It has a thick jungle cover, so it is very different from the Kashmir area, which is largely valleys and open pine trees and gaps. And in the winters, it's uninhabitable. The villages or the houses are also sparse, so the terrorists cannot hide in different locations, and they have to move to a civilian area to be able to get shelter. And that's why the chances of them getting surrounded, cornered and cordoned and caught was higher. The Poonch Rajouri area is twice the size of the Kashmir area itself. So and it's quite spread out, and the jungles have lots of caves and lots of ability and flora and fauna for these cadre to be able to survive there. The other aspect is that Lashkar is actually redirecting its idle sitting battle hardened cadre, which has been sitting in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa area twiddling their thumbs, doing nothing because of this entire strife in Afghanistan coming to an end. They were all being trained and they were being asked to fight on behalf of the Taliban or with the Taliban, etc. Now a lot of that cadre is sitting there, which is battle hardened, which is very highly trained, and they have now been redirected towards this area, and they have infiltrated over 6 to 8 months. And CNN News 18 is putting it out for the first time that they have shifted the terrain because for them survival in these jungles is better and there is a higher, greater possibility. And also for the troops, our troops, they are trained to handle conditions like Jammu, they are trained to handle conditions like Kashmir. The Poonch Rajouri kind of systems have never been active like the way they have been active in the last 6-8 months. So this also means a training of sorts, a reworking of the training methods of sorts. But what we are sure is that these are battle-hardened terrorists and FTs, foreign terrorists, who have now infiltrated in this region and who are operating. And they have suffered reversals at the hands of our troops. Our para and our security personnel have inflicted heavy wounds on them. So somewhere there is also a certain level of retribution that when they get an opportunity, they strike. And this lot is quite brutal. So to bring them to account is far more necessary, and that's why perhaps we are also seeing a greater determination from our own forces that no matter what, they will not break the security cordon, and they're not going to call off combing and search operations so easily. It's sometimes the combing and search ops are running into days. One, because of the terrain. Two, because they are so battle hardened, these criminals, these foreign terrorists, that they need to be accounted for at the earliest. They can't be allowed to float around and wait to strike next, because what they will do is they'll lie low for 3-4 months in the jungle area among the civilian population, and then come back and strike again. And that's something which we can ill afford.
Anand, I'm just going to zoom out a bit and talking about the overall security apparatus that the government of India has ensured ever since the special status was done away in Kashmir. There was a massive crackdown on the overground workers. The entire terror network that operated underground and overground were dismantled. And there were reports that now Jammu is going to be the target for various terrorists, like we are witnessing right now. It was also said that the Home Minister has a plan in place for the next few years to ensure that this terror network does not spread to regions like Jammu. Where exactly are we on that?
You see, Anusha, we got to understand the terrain very clearly. Although this all comes under the Jammu region, this is not Jammu in terms of topography. Jammu and Kashmir have different topography compared to this entire Poonch Rajouri area. And in Jammu and also in Kashmir, already the kind of security grid that is clamped, that has forced these criminals and these terrorists to move into a guerrilla warfare territory that looks at a different area or a terrain like Poonch Rajouri. Poonch Rajouri is not something which is favorable for the light-hearted. It's not for the faint-hearted. These jungles are rough and tough, and there is a lot of flora and fauna, and it's not easy to survive. But survival is also possible here more than anywhere else, because there are caves which are deeply hidden. Arms caches can be stashed there and hidden there. You will find food, and more importantly, despite the winter months, there is not heavy snowfall there, and because of not heavy snowfall, they can still continue to survive in the jungles. So for them to just go into the civilized area, get provisions or whatever rations or basic supplies are concerned, and then go back into the jungle and live there is possible, which was not possible in areas like Jammu or areas like Kashmir, where they would have to move move into a civilian area or a place that is inhabited. And that's where perhaps the intelligence would come into play and kick in. Here, for them to survive in the jungles is easier. And this is twice, like I said, twice the area of the 11 districts of Kashmir. The Poonch Rajouri region is twice the area in terms of acreage. And that gives them more options to hide and also to play this entire guerrilla kind of a warfare technique that they are trying to use. And like I must tell you, they are battle-hardened criminals who were trained to fight the long wars on the western side of the Pakistani borders and in Afghanistan, in that area. And those are the terrorists that are being redirected here.
Okay. Thank you so much, Anand, for putting all of that into perspective. Lieutenant General KJ Singh, who's a defense expert, is joining us on the broadcast. Lieutenant General Singh, Lashkar has opened a new front. Poonch and Rajouri seem to be the target repeatedly. Your thoughts on that, sir?
Anushka, what we know is that in this, the group which is active, probably I cannot say with 100% guarantee, but they say it is Jaish-e-Mohammed. Now, what has happened is, earlier, typically, north of Pir Panjal, Jaish would operate, south, Lashkar would operate, but of late, these two in sheer desperation have decided to work together. And if you would know that Lashkar is an Al-Hadith affiliated organization and Jaish is a Deobandi organization. They have their differences. Now, they have decided to work together and they have taken a new names also, like Lashkar is calling itself the Resistance Front and this is calling itself as Popular Front for Anti-Fascist Forces. These are all, cloning they are carrying out to avoid actions of Financial Action Task Force. And like your previous expert was telling, the terrain is tough. They seem to have changed their tactics because they are not operating out of a hinterland or with a base. They are keeping themselves to jungle. And also, it is also important to factor in the demography. The people who live there are Gujars. So now, the moot question is, have we lost the touch with Gujars? Earlier, Gujars were very patriotic. They would say, we are not Kashmiris, we are Gujars. They used to sort of assert their identity of being a separate kind of community. To my way of understanding, somewhere we seem to have lost our connect with Gujars. We need to revisit that. There have been issues after, if I was to go back to Kathua rape, there the Gujar community was at receiving end, and there was a feeling that not enough was done to assert their feelings. Thereafter, Pahadis were given reservation. Now, Pahadis are competing with Gujars. So there are issues. And those issues will, see, nobody can operate even in a jungle without, because after all, Gujars also live there in dogs and all. So nobody can operate without getting support of local people. But tactics have been changed. And also, Anushka, I'll say that it's a very tough thing, but Indian Army, in my perception, will get out of situation and they must revisit their SOPs because it is serious, it is unfortunate, and if there is anything we need to put in more troops or revisit our SOPs, we should do it immediately.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much for shedding light on that. Mr. Sushant Sareen, who's a senior fellow at ORF, is also joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Sushant Sareen, good evening, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. Lashkar opening a new front, Poonch and Rajouri as the targets. We've spoken about it earlier. It has been a bloody battle. Then the Indian security forces have been fighting in this region. Do we need to revisit our SOPs? That's what Lieutenant General Singh also argued.
Look, I don't think this is a new front. This is a front which has been open for quite some time now, for a couple of years now. Since 2019, they've tried to shift the focus from the Kashmir Valley to this particular belt. So it should not have come as a surprise to us. And frankly, I completely agree with General Singh that these SOPs should have been revisited when the first couple of attacks happened. Now, I think almost 8 or 10 attacks have happened, and in each attack, there have been a fairly high number of casualties because these are ambushes and there's been a fairly high number of casualties of the Indian security forces, of the Indian Army in particular.
Okay.
So clearly, somebody should have revisited and should have started focusing on this particular area, which even way back in the 1990s was quite a troublesome area, and it was a great at great cost and with a lot of sacrifice that the Indian Army cleared up this entire place. So if
Yeah.
we let it again slide back, then I think it's about time that rather than talking about it, action needs to be taken on the ground.
All right, Mr. Sushant Sareen, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Thank you so much for getting us all the details. We'll, of course, keep coming back to you for more on the story. Let's cut across to some more breaking news coming in. And this is coming in from the BJP National Office Bearers meeting here in Delhi. Prime Minister Modi is all set to inaugurate the BJP National Office Bearers meeting. Prime Minister reaches the BJP headquarters. That's a bit of news that we are getting for you right now. My colleague Arun Dhanta is joining us on the broadcast. Arun, please tell us more.
Well, see, it's a 2 days meeting starting just now, and Prime Minister Modi will be inaugurating this 2 days meeting of Bharatiya Janata Party. And in this meeting, there will be participation of BJP National Office Bearers, which includes the state heads, state presidents of BJP, and the General Secretary, organization of different states, co-in charge and in charges, and also of course the different morchas of Bharatiya Janata Party. For example, Mahila Morcha, Kisan Morcha, Yuva Morcha, all these morchas will be participating in this meeting. So it's a 2 days meeting. Of course, there will be various agendas of this meeting, starting from the 5 assembly elections which just concluded. They will be discussing on what worked in their favor, what went against them. So all these things will be discussed, and accordingly strategies will be made. And of course, importantly, the upcoming Lok Sabha elections will also be part of the agenda of this meeting, and how the campaigns of different political leaders and ministers will be strategized. That all will be discussed in this meeting. And Prime Minister Modi, of course, will be addressing the BJP leaders there. So he will also be giving them some sort of motivation.
Let me take
or
a
some
word
sort of
from my colleague Payal as well. She's joining us on the broadcast. Payal, please tell us more. What are the details you're picking up?
Well, today, the reason that people think that the BJP win the election is because they waste no time. So just after the parliament session concluded yesterday, today the top leaders of the party are already back at work. So it's an important meeting concerning the upcoming Lok Sabha elections. The BJP, if you remember, had already set itself a target of winning all the weak Lok Sabha seats that they've really wanted. They've lost at least 2 times or more. So that work has been going on for the last 2 years. Several party top leaders have visited these seats multiple times. And now with the fact that they're looking at a renewed push after the recent wins, like Arun was pointing out, they will be in fact focusing on the strategy ahead. There's not much time left because there's just about a couple of months left for the 2024 elections to really, come forth. And the party is looking at scoring its hat trick in its Lok Sabha wins. That's something which is there on the card. And they're determined to make Prime Minister Narendra Modi the Prime Minister for the 3rd time. So what strategies will take it forward? How to go about the entire thing? The fact that the party has launched a Viksit Bharat Yatra and the schemes have been launched and it's been taken to the end users. How to go about that? What are the key focus areas? What are the challenges that they're facing in several quarters, especially in southern India, where the BJP score right now stands 0 in terms of government? All of these things are going to be there at the force of parties, office bearers, state presidents, various top leaders of the party, Party President JP Nadda and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Anusha, will be inaugurating this meeting today. There's a meeting which is going to go on for the whole of tomorrow as well. We are given to understand the Prime Minister will be present for tomorrow's meeting as well, and will be giving a roadmap ahead for the party leadership to take this challenge forward.
All right. Thank you, Pal, for putting all of that into perspective. We'll, of course, keep coming back to you for more on the story. Let's move on and let's tell you more about the Parliament's security breach that continues to dominate the political discourse, leading to the suspension of 146 Member of Parliament in the winter session. Now, a mega protest by the opposition leaders was planned at Jantar Mantar in a show of solidarity. The top leaders of the opposition came together and they carried out a protest while the BJP continued to slam the opposition for their conduct in Parliament. The opposition continues to take this narrative to town, and I'm quoting them right now that democracy is dead and BJP is responsible for it. Look at the suspensions that have happened in Parliament. Perhaps the narrative building up in the run-up to 2024 as well. Some reactions like that.
हिंदुस्तान के जो युवा हैं, ये जो आपने सेलफोन पकड़ रखे हैं, इस पे दिन में कितना घंटा, मतलब इंस्टाग्राम पे, फेसबुक पे, ट्विटर पे कितने घंटे रहते हैं? मैंने ये सवाल पूछा। नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने उसको रोजगार नहीं दिया है, रोजगार उससे छीन लिया है और उसको एक ही रास्ता दिया है, सेल फोन पर इंस्टाग्राम को मतलब देखते रहो, 24 घंटा देखते रहो। ये है हिंदुस्तान की हालत।
During the incident happened in the parliament, unfortunately, the members of the opposition parties, this Indie alliance, did not come together. When, if you look at the past incidents, we have seen all the political parties have come together and condemned the incident and stood by to strengthen the security of the parliament, have given suggestions in the past. Well, the speaker himself called the meeting of all political parties, sought their suggestions, but they wanted to play politics with it.
Congress party is protesting, against the suspensions of the MPs over here in Parliament. But we came across a similar incident in Karnataka. You've spoken about that. You've tweeted about that.
Congress is always known for double standards. This is nothing new for Congress party. When assembly session was on in the month of July, when Siddaramaiah was presenting his budget, a private person who claimed himself as an MLA barged into the Vidhan Sabha, not only Vidhan Sabha, he entered the floor of the house. He was sitting right just 2 seats away from me. And when one of our MLAs observed and he complained to the speaker, then he was pulled out of the house. This is the situation. This incident happened in Karnataka itself. लेकिन इसके बारे में हम तमाशा नहीं किए on the floor of the house. We took it with more responsibility. We just complained to the speaker. Of course, it was a breach of security. It's a serious matter. But जिस तरीके से विपक्ष के नेता इधर दिल्ली में हड़ताल कर रहे थे, तमाशा कर रहे थे, ऐसे तमाशा तो नहीं किए ना हम लोग।
एक आखिरी सवाल आपसे पूछिए, जो तमाशा चल रहा है उस पर आप क्या एडवाइस देना चाहेंगे राहुल गांधी को?
इतना बड़ा नहीं हूं जो राहुल गांधी एडवाइस देने के लिए, बट इट्स अनफॉर्चुनेट द वे राहुल गांधी where he himself claims himself as a prime ministerial candidate of the Congress party. कैसा बर्ताव करना है ऐसी परिस्थिति में, इसके बारे में थोड़ा सोच तो चाहिए था उसको.
We'll continue tracking that story and much more here on CNN News 18 on the other side of a quick break. Stay tuned, stay with us.
There's a way.
I really can't even come to understand what's happened here today.
I came here because I wanted to light a candle in memory of students who died today in a massacre, in school shooting, in university close by. I was really shocked, and yeah, I tried to check that everybody who I know is from the faculty is okay, and I also checked my girlfriends.
what happened in the beginning. There was a couple of banks. I didn't even realize it's a shooting. Then suddenly there were students and teachers running out of the building of the philosophical faculty. I went through the crowd, not realizing what actually is really going on, because as probably a lot of people, I wasn't just ready to admit that something like that could happen in Prague. When I got through the crowd and I realized that there are the policemen, fully equipped with the automatic rifles, covered in Kevlar helms, Kevlar vests, I realized that okay, this is something going on. This is wrong. And in that moment, they also started to shout at me to go away, to run away. I was just standing and shooting video, then talking to some tourists that they were, a little bit stressed out. So when we talked, we moved a little bit further away, and then suddenly, when I got to the policeman, one of them just pushed me in the tram to somehow cover me from the side of the shooter.
Yeah, okay, I was in the restaurant, which is like a few hundred meters from the scene. I saw passing the restaurant a few guys which looks like little bit like me. I knew it shall be military or police. I ran it out from the restaurant because I was automatically expecting that it's an attack against the Jewish targets. But when I arrived here, the guys from the special forces told me that the attack it's happening in the faculty, which was for me even more stressful because my daughter was over there. It means I hid it over here. I took my bulletproof vest and I started to call immediately my daughter, but she was not responding. After a few minutes, I get into connection with her through SMS, short messages, and I was giving their instruction like not to be next to the window, lay down, barricade the door, and I was trying to stay in contact with her, but meanwhile there was a repeating shooting, and I was assisting, helping the police, because a lot of people was approaching the scene where was the active shooter.
A gunman killed more than a dozen people and seriously injured others at a Prague University on Thursday, police said, in what was the country's worst ever mass shooting. The shooter's body was also found in the area. Czech police responded to the shooting at Charles University's Faculty of Arts building shortly after 3 p.m. local time. The gunman was a student at the faculty, police said. His father was found dead earlier in the day. Bystander Ivo Havranek told Reuters what he saw.
In the beginning, there was a couple of banks. I didn't even realize it's a shooting. Then suddenly there were students and teachers running out of the building. When I got through the crowd and I realized that there are the policemen, fully equipped with the automatic rifles, covered in Kevlar helms, Kevlar vests, I realized that okay, this is something going on. This is wrong.
An email sent to staff and students said the shooter was in one of the buildings. Video from the scene showed armed police on the street and people hiding on the ledge of a building. Police sealed off the square and the area adjacent to the building, located in a busy part of town. Gun crime is relatively rare in the Czech Republic.
So I was at my faculty, which is in Troja. It's about 20 minutes away from the Faculty of Philosophy, the Faculty of Arts. And I was in class. One of my classmates was looking at me.
All right, some latest news coming in. Khalistani leader Gurpatwant Singh Panun, who's at the center of the diplomatic tensions between India and Canada, has now declared a new front to flaunt his open association with terror groups in Kashmir. While declaring his new front, he has hailed the attack on forces in Poonch. That's the word really coming in. Let's also try and tell you some more information which is emerging on this entire story. Panun and his association with terror, and now not just with the Khalistani terror. There are more links which are emerging. Let's have a look at them one by one. He declares himself as the spokesperson of Kashmir Khalistan Referendum Front. This is somebody who has been openly spewing venom and hate against India. He has also been somebody who's talking about and calling terrorists of 21 December Poonch attack as Kashmiri freedom fighters. That's the narrative he's been taking to town, and it's no secret that he's been funded by Pakistan on multiple occasions. This is also something that has been documented and argued by India to Canada with our conversations to the country. The Poonch attack is a consequence, and he says violence always begets violence. He's been trying to justify that particular terror attack that has happened in Poonch, not the first time, of course. Khalistan to Kashmir, Pannu says that referendum is the only solution. Abhishek, my colleague with us on the broadcast. Abhishek, please tell us more about this narrative of sorts coming in.
This is not the first time that Panun has tried to appropriate some other terrorist organization's act under his own organization's credit, and this is yet another example where he is trying to kind of suggest that these violent acts done by terrorists against Indian security forces are a revenge which is coming because of the violence, and he said that violence begets only violence. While we know that Seek for Justice, a banned terrorist outfit, and Panun himself has been a banned person, a prohibited person in the eyes of Indian law agencies, these type of activity will just expose another, shade of his character that tells that he is totally anti-India, a propagandist, and a person who justifies violence against Indian security personnel.
Absolutely. Abhishek, just a reminder of the manner in which Indian authorities has taken up this entire matter very, very seriously. What further convolutes this entire situation is that there are allegations that have been made that there was some kind of assassination plot that further takes away from the fact that he's been somebody who's been openly threatening India's national and internal security.
Well, while the probe is still on the intelligence input provided by US side on the alleged plot to kill Panun, it is up to the US government and other governments like Canadian authorities to look into what kind of person they are trying to protect and support. The person who has been an anti-India, he's been all along, he's been calling for separation, secession, and now he has started justifying violence by these terrorist organizations. So such persons, if they are allowed to flourish, if they are allowed to operate from their soil, and that too against their one of the key strategic ally, that is India, that is something that they have to answer. These countries have to answer as to what kind of a scheme of things persons like Panun or his ilk fit into their foreign policies and strategic diplomacy.
All right. Thank you, Abhishek, for putting all of that into perspective. Let's now move on and tell you the story emerging from Karnataka. A controversy has erupted after there was a video that went viral on social media. What is this video about? Now, in this video, we see a Congress minister who's flaunting his luxurious private aircraft. He was seen traveling to Delhi with Chief Minister Mr. Siddaramaiah. And interestingly and quite ironically, he was traveling to seek drought relief funds from the central government. This is Congress Minister Zamir Ahmad Khan. He posted a video of himself and the Chief Minister on board the aircraft. The video has gone viral. The BJP has taken pot shots. Some reactions on the story.
जब लोग इतने तंग हो गए हैं, त्राही हो गए हैं लोगों को, उस टाइम ऐसे प्राइवेट जेट में जहाँ से अगर रेगुलर कमर्शियल फ्लाइट नहीं है तो ठीक है, जब कमर्शियल फ्लाइट है तब ये प्राइवेट एयरक्राफ्ट, इतने बड़े लग्जूरियस एयरक्राफ्ट लेके जाना ये बिल्कुल अनुचित है, गलत है। मैं इसका कंडेम करता हूं। तो कांग्रेस पार्टी का एक तो भ्रष्टाचार से जो उन्होंने वेल्थ कमाई कर रहे हैं उसका एक प्रदर्शन है।
बीजेपी इज नॉट एबल टू डाइजेस्ट द प्रोग्रेस। दे हैड गॉन टू मीट द प्राइम मिनिस्टर एंड द होम मिनिस्टर फॉर दिस drought relief. So they have come on a special flight which normally the Chief Minister uses. So it is quite natural, obvious. There is nothing great in it. As earlier also, when earlier BJP ministers, Chief Minister used to use, My Chief Minister also, in order to save time, he has come out. There is nothing wrong in it. This is all a political statement. We don't mind their comments on that.
What really has happened? Because Sitaramaiah is coming here asking for money from the centre. At the same time, he's seen flying on a luxurious charter.
It's very unfortunate on the part of the Chief Minister and the ministers. And the way Jamir Ahmad displayed himself and the way he has released the video, that itself shows the seriousness of the state government. See, बार-बार राज्य केंद्र सरकार के विरुद्ध प्रधानमंत्री जी के खिलाफ ड्राउट के समय में पैसा नहीं दे रहे, every time they are demanding money from the central government. That the way they are wasting the public money, that too during the drought, it's very unfortunate. Bharatiya Janata Party strongly condemns the attitude of the Congress government in Karnataka, and it clearly displays the seriousness of the state government and the utter waste of public money as well.
The government is speaking about guarantees, but it seems the only guarantee is VVIP culture.
See, one is जो कांग्रेस के गारंटी के बारे में बात कर रहे पिछले 6 महीने से, पिछले 5 राज्य का चुनाव में जिस तरीके से भारतीय जनता पार्टी मध्य प्रदेश, राजस्थान और छत्तीसगढ़ में कांग्रेस गारंटी को जो उधर ट्राई कर रहे थे कांग्रेस की तरफ से, उसके बावजूद भी इस राज्य में कांग्रेस के गारंटी के खिलाफ मोदी जी गारंटी के बारे में लोगों को बहुत उत्साह है और विश्वास भी है.
Already state is suffering from the drought. The people and the farmers are suffering from the drought. They are not receiving any relief from the state government. But Congress people, Siddaramaiah, Jamir Ahmad, all the people traveling in a jet, special jet flight, and once again the Karnataka school children traveling in a JC. They are enjoying. Students are suffering. This is the type of working in Karnataka Congress Party.
On the one hand, Karnataka is reeling under drought, and the Chief Minister of Karnataka is asking the Centre for Drought Relief Fund. The Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka tells his own MLAs and people that there is no money left for development because all the money has been splurged on the so-called promises made by the Congress Party, which they are unable to fulfill. They are increasing the prices of milk, they are increasing the prices of electricity. On the other hand, we see the ministers of Karnataka government are doing photo shoot and splurging in VVIP planes and jet planes at the cost of taxpayer money, along with the Chief Minister. This is obscene, shameful, and it only shows that Congress's mindset is to use any state it gets power in as an ATM.
बीजेपी के पास कोई भी मुद्दे नहीं रहे थे, इसलिए ध्यान भटकाना चाहते हैं. तो फिर हम भी शुरू करेंगे 10 लाख के सूट का, हम भी शुरू करेंगे जो उनके क्लिप्स होते हैं उनका, लेकिन इस बात में हम निपटना नहीं चाहते बिकॉज जो मेन हमारे मुद्दे हैं उससे वो ध्यान भटकाना चाहते हैं.
CM Siddaramaiah and Minister Jamir Ahmad were seen in a luxurious flight. They claimed that they are going for a drought relief fund, asking to the PM. How right it is to travel in a luxury flight if they were going for a drought hit? Apparently, CM Siddaramaiah and Jamir Ahmad are known for their luxurious life, the kind of the night holidays they spend in different resorts. Is this the reason they were going for? Or when they were going for a drought hit relief, why should they travel in a luxurious fund? The same fund could have been utilized for feeding some poor farmers. Why did they not do that?
Well, we'll continue tracking that story and much more here on CNN News 18 on the other side of a quick break. Stay tuned, stay with us.
Brought to you by
Twitter, I'm not sure, the news, and I think everyone was just in a state of shock. Again, these things don't happen here. weren't really sure what to do. Do we stay in class? Do we leave? I never thought that I was in any immediate danger, you know. I go to a separate faculty. Again, it's a different location. But there was, again, just this incredible comfort. Like, you know, is this, you know, what's happening? It's chaos.
Could have been anyone.
It could have been any faculty.
I was reaching out to everybody that I could think of, and people from abroad were asking me where I was and if I was safe. And my little brother actually messaged me asking if I'm okay. I really can't even come to understand what's happened here today.
I came here because I wanted to light a candle in memory of students who died today in a massacre, in school shooting, in university close by. I was really shocked, and yeah, I tried to check that everybody who I know is from the faculty is okay, and I also checked my girlfriend.
From what happened in the beginning, there was a couple of bangs. I didn't even realize it's a shooting. Then suddenly there were students and teachers running out of the building of the philosophical faculty. I went through the crowd, not realizing what actually is really going on, because as probably a lot of people, I wasn't just ready to admit that something like that could happen in Prague. When I got through the crowd and I realized that there are the policemen, fully equipped with the automatic rifles, covered in Kevlar helms, Kevlar vests, I realized that okay, this is something going on. This is wrong. And in that moment, they also started to shout at me to go away, to run away. I was there just standing and shooting video, then talking to some tourists that they were, a little bit stressed out. So then when we talked, we moved a little bit further away, and then suddenly when I got to the policeman, one of them just pushed me in the tram to somehow cover me from the side of the shooter.
Yeah, okay. I was in the restaurant, which is like few hundred meters from the scene. I saw passing the restaurant a few guys, which looks like little bit like me. I knew it shall be military or police. I ran it out from the restaurant because I was automatically expecting that it's an attack against the Jewish targets. But when I arrived here, the guys from the special forces told me that the attack it's happening in the faculty, which was for me even more stressful because my daughter was over there. It means I hid it over here. I took my bulletproof vest and I started to call immediately my daughter, but she was not responding. After a few minutes, I get in the connection with her through SMS, short messages, and I was giving their instruction like not to be next to the window, lay down, barricade the door, and I was trying to stay in contact with her, but meanwhile there was a repeating shooting, and I was assisting, helping the police, because a lot of people was approaching the scene where was the active shooter.
A gunman killed more than a dozen people and seriously injured others at a Prague University on Thursday, police said, in what was the country's worst ever mass shooting. The shooter's body was also found in the area. Czech police responded to the shooting at Charles University's Faculty of Arts building shortly after 3 p.m. local time. The gunman was a student at the faculty, police said. His father was found dead earlier in the day. Bystander Ivo Havranek told Reuters what he saw.
In the beginning, there was a couple of bangs. I didn't even realize it's a shooting. Then suddenly there were students and teachers running out of the building. When I got through the crowd and I realized that there are policemen, fully equipped with the automatic rifles.
Welcome back. Let's cut across to some latest news coming in, and this is a detailed bail order that we tell you about Sanjay Singh, the Aam Aadmi Party leader who is presently in custody in the Liquor Gate scam. It's a big setback to Aam Aadmi Party Rajya Sabha MP Mr. Sanjay Singh. A Delhi court notes that Sanjay Singh played an important role in the formulation of the excise policy. The Delhi court also argues that prima facie the case against the accused person, including Sanjay Singh, seems to be credible enough for this investigation to go forward. Ananya Bhatnagar, my colleague, is getting us this information. He'll elaborate more on this. Ananya, please tell us more about this order.
Well, definitely, Anusha, a big setback coming in for, Aam Aadmi Party Rajya Sabha MP Sanjay Singh in this particular case. Court going on to make several observations. The first one of it is that Sanjay Singh is directly or indirectly involved with the activities relating to the proceeds of crime. And I'll read what the court has said. The court is of the prima facie view that the case against applicant is genuine and the said evidence and material show involvement of the applicant in commission of the alleged offences of money laundering because he is shown to have been or directly or indirectly involved in the process or activities connected with the proceeds of crime. The next observation that the court makes is that the evidence and material available with the court and with the agency is sufficient to believe that Sanjay Singh is guilty of offences of money laundering. Hence, the bail cannot be granted since there is a bar of Section 45 under the PMLA. And the final observation that the court goes on to make is that the statement of the approvers or witnesses prima facie show that bribe or kickbacks were paid to Sanjay Singh in exchange of benefits that were to be given to other accused persons who were, liquor manufacturer who were to be given certain benefits in this particular policy. And since Sanjay Singh had to play a key role into this whole, formulation of this whole flawed policy, that's the exact reason why he is directly involved in this particular offense of money laundering, and that's what the court has said while denying him a regular bail in this particular case. A big setback coming in for the Aam Aadmi Party at a point when their chief, the promoter and in fact the the main person when it comes to the Aam Aadmi Party, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, had also been summoned by the enforcement agencies, though he did not appear before the agency, saying
All
that
right.
he is
Ananya,
going to Vipassana.
I want you to stay with us on the broadcast. Mr. Harish Khurana of the BJP is also joining us. Harishi, namaskar. Thank you so much for speaking with us. This is a setback coming in. These are very adverse observations that have been made by a Delhi court when it comes to the role played by Sanjay Singh. Your thoughts, sir?
See, this is not for the first time Sanjay Singh bail has been denied. Manish Sisodia in the same case has been denied the bail by the Honorable Supreme Court also. And on the other hand, Aam Aadmi Party people, including Arvind Kejriwal, is in a hurry of giving a certificate of honesty to their own people and saying to the country that there is no scam has happened and they are honest people. On the other, I mean, if you see the whole scenario, court is denying the bail and giving the adverse observations regarding that like Supreme Court has clearly said there are 300 odd crore rupees money trail has been found. Today, the observation in the case of Sanjay Singh is clearly stated that he might be involved directly or indirectly. This states that there is something, some corruption has happened, but always Aam Aadmi Party is in a denial mode. I think now the day is not very far behind. You run away with the ED investigations, but end of the day, you have to, Arvind Kejriwal have to come under ED radar and give answers to whatever ED is asking. And the day is not very far behind. The mastermind of the whole scam, that is Arvind Kejriwal, will be behind bars. What we feel that.
All right, Mr. Khurana, I appreciate you joining us on the broadcast and giving us your time. I want to cut across to my colleague Ananya Bhatnagar. He's with us on the broadcast. Ananya, let's go back in time and talk about this excise policy scam. Mr. Manish Sisodia was the first one to be made the accused. There are, I believe, 3 charge sheets that have been filed in this matter so far, 2 supplementary.
Well, exactly 4 supplementary charge sheets so far have been filed in this particular case. Last one being against Mr. Sanjay Singh and Sarvesh Mishra. And in fact, a very, very categorical observation that I would like the viewers to actually come to, Anusha, in this particular order is that, the court has held that, till the Supreme Court of India, the whole case of the ED seems to be genuine, and the Supreme Court too has believed that the Enforcement Directorate's allegations are true in nature somewhere or the other, and in fact this is a genuine case of the ED, and that's exactly why the court went on to the statement or under Section 50 of various witnesses. In fact, in the last charge sheet which I'm mentioning, which is against Sanjay Singh and Sarvesh Mishra, there are certain protected witnesses too, to which the ED does not want to reveal the details because they are sensitive witnesses and have given sensitive statements which basically led to this particular order. These statements have also been discussed, wherein it has been alleged and very, very categorically stated that, Sanjay Singh had received certain amounts, almost amount of 2 crores was paid to Sanjay Singh. A confirmation call was also made after this particular amount was received into, part payments to Sanjay Singh, and after every part payment there was confirmation calls with Sanjay Singh, which he had agreed that, that he had agreed that the amount had actually come to him, and that's exactly why the court felt that, he is somewhere or the other directly or indirectly involved in the process of money laundering and is somewhere or the other very, very categorically responsible when it comes to this commission of this whole offence under
Ananya, can you also break it down for us that when it comes to the complaint or when it comes to the charge sheet, particularly about Sanjay Singh, what is it that is mentioned? Because it was argued that against Sanjay Singh, there is no predicate offence that has been made out because he was not somebody who was an accused in the CBI case. That was the initial point where this entire investigation really began.
Well, as far as the court order is concerned, because the charge sheet is at this point of time also kept in sealed cover due to the revealing of name of that particular witness by the Enforcement Directorate by mistake. The charge sheet is at this point of time kept under a sealed cover. But as of what we know, apart from that, as of what we know from this particular court order, it is very, very categorically mentioned and the court has gone on into the role of Sanjay Singh, saying that, as per the statements and the material that is available with the agencies, he was directly or indirectly involved in the commission of this crime. He is said to be, by the witnesses, by the evidence available, by the material on record, said to be one of the key accused, and in fact he was one of the key players when it comes to the formulation of this policy, because there were certain MOUs that were recovered from him with regards to that particular policy, and in fact a draft of the MOUs also was recovered from, in fact, those drafts which were with regards to the changes in that particular excise policy was also, recovered from Sanjay Singh as residence and premises. And that's exactly why Sanjay Singh is directly or indirectly involved in this particular offence, and he is to be said to be committed these offences under Section 3 of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. And not only this, but it has also been stated that, he was a key player when it comes to the formulation of this policy, because he had received the kickbacks when it comes to change, and in exchange of these kickbacks and the favors were being extended to various people like Abhishek Bonepalli and others. Over exchange of almost 2 crore rupees. There were changes to be made to that policy. However, the deal did not crack. There were certain problems and the deal actually could not crack, and those changes could not be made in that particular policy at that point of time.
Ananya Bhatnagar getting us all the details on that very important story. We'll continue tracking this and much more. That's all on this edition of Nation at 5. Thank you so much for watching.
350 crore cash gets recovered by IT department. Dheeraj Sahu yet to explain all of that cash, and suddenly in less than a week's time the Congress launches a crowdfunding campaign.
You have to ask a question, that is this all being done to paint the BJP in a certain light? That it is an undemocratic party. You first provoke, then when you are ejected you claim, well look, democracy is being smothered, you stand outside, you do all that tamasha outside.
Please don't misquote the judgment. It very clearly also said that the structure which used to exist there was purely un-Islamic. They also said that the tenets of Islam had been violated itself because Islam ही इजाजत नहीं देता that in the previous place of worship के ऊपर आपके place of worship हो.
You cannot be seen as mocking such an individual in public high office outside the halls of parliament just because a bunch of opposition MPs have been suspended.
There's been a lot of anticipation of centuries really that has been building up as the Ram temple gets completed. And come January 22nd, there's going to be a row of people that is going to throng the small city of Ayodhya once again. The city itself is gearing up to be able to take the load of thousands and lakhs of people coming to take their darshan once the Ram Lala Murti is consecrated in the new Ram temple. It's been a struggle of 500 years to see the Ram temple being constructed at the very Ram Janmasthan where I am standing today. And it's been litigation of over 70 years to have this dream come true for over 80 crore Indians, but many more devotees across the world. The Ram temple is finally a reality. With that, it marks a seminal moment in Indian Indic civilization, because this is the first of those many struggles that has come to fruition when it comes to erasing the markers of invaders and reclaiming the rightful spot of Lord Ram for his temple. On January 22, 2024, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be coming here for the first big milestone as far as this Ram temple is concerned, which is the consecration ceremony. There is already a Ram Lala Virajman in a makeshift temple. Not just that Ram Lala, but a new Murti of Ram Lala will be consecrated at this Ram temple. From here on, those are the two Swarups of Ram Lala that will be prayed to by devotees. And from the very next day forward, the doors of the new Ram temple will be thrown open to thousands, possibly lakhs of devotees who are waiting very eagerly to do their first darshan. Today we have a very special guest the chairman of the Ram Janmabhoomi Ram Temple Trust, Nipendra Mishra, joining us, who was entrusted the very difficult task to